Welcome to This Explainer. We're diving straight into the June 2026 Monthly Newswire to help you navigate the incredibly fast-paced landscape of UK tax and regulations. Whether you're managing high-end property, running a growing SME, handling sensitive charity data, or shipping goods across borders, there is a lot of ground to cover today. Staying ahead of these shifts isn't just helpful, it's absolutely vital for your strategic planning. We've carved these incredibly dense updates into a straightforward sector breakdown. We're going to hit high-value property tax, AI and cyber tech, R&D advance assurance, charity data opt-ins, and finally, fuel, transport, and exports. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. High-value property tax.
So, this proposed high-value council tax surcharge, or HVCTS for short, is set to hit England on April 1, 2028. The target? Residential properties worth £2 million or more. Now, because of that really high threshold, less than 1% of properties are actually going to feel the sting here. But hey, if you fall into that tiny slice, you absolutely need to prep for this. It's a brand new bill payable right on top of your normal council tax. And keep in mind, this covers dwellings, so self-contained residential units, and yeah, that definitely includes mixed-use properties where the residential part is distinct, plus the accompanying gardens and garages.
Okay, so what does the runway look like? Well, the government consultation is wrapping up on July 14, 2026. Fast forward to March 2028, and that's when those first bills land on doormats, with the tax going live in April. But listen to this. The Valuation Office is not dragging their feet. They're actually running targeted valuation exercises right now to slot properties into one of 4 bands. Oh, and a quick side note on relief. Deferrals will be an option for eligible folks with low income and savings, or if the property is the main home for someone who is disabled or severely mentally impaired.
Now, the million-dollar question, literally, in some cases, who actually pays this thing? It boils down to the legal owner. They are the ones footing the bill, not the occupier and not the beneficial owner. So to put that in perspective, if you're a trustee holding a property for a minor, even in a bare trust setup, you, the trustee, are on the hook. And get this, if a property has a long lease, meaning it was originally granted for more than 21 years, the leaseholder gets the bill, not the freeholder. It is all about the name on the legal title, not who's actually physically living in the space.
Moving on to Section 2. AI, Cyber, and Tech.
Let's pivot from bricks and mortar to the digital world. Technology is moving incredibly fast, and it's bringing some pretty surprising pitfalls and protections for your business operations. We are tracking a really dangerous trend right now. AI chatbots and sketchy websites are out there confidently giving businesses completely bogus tax advice. For example, an AI might confidently tell you that because a VAT deadline falls on a bank holiday or a weekend, you just automatically get a grace period until the next working day. Sounds perfectly logical, right? Well, let me play Mythbuster here for a second. HMRC absolutely does not care if it's a weekend. They do not accept bank holidays as an excuse for late VAT returns or payments. None. If your deadline is on a Sunday, your return has to be in and your payment must physically clear into HMRC's account by the last working day before that due date. If you take that chatbot's advice and wait until Monday, you're getting slapped with interest and penalties. Long story short, do not let a bot manage your statutory deadlines. Staying in the digital realm, let's talk cybersecurity. Over at the Cyber UK 2026 conference, the National Cybersecurity Center, the NCSC, dropped a major update. They are now officially telling everyone to ditch passwords and switch to using passkeys wherever a service allows it. So what is a passkey? Basically, it completely kills the need to ever type a password again. It links your account straight to a physical device you already own, like your smartphone. To log in, you just unlock it using your biometric data. A fingerprint, a quick face scan, or a PIN.
Why the big push? Because traditional two-step verification, where you wait for that little text message code, is getting really vulnerable to targeted phishing attacks. Scammers are getting incredibly good at tricking people into handing over those codes. Passkeys, though, are device-bound. They offer a massive leap in security, simply because there is no password or code for a hacker to steal in the first place. The NCSC made it clear that phishing is still a huge driver of cyber breaches, and passkeys are simply the most sensible, modern defense we have against it.
All right, on to Section 3, R&D, Advance Assurance.
Let's look a bit deeper into business operations. HMRC is currently running a pilot program to help de-risk your research and development claims, running until May 2027. Honestly, the old full claim advance assurance system was pretty clunky, not very popular, and really only helped first-time claimants. So HMRC pivoted.
They've rolled out a targeted advance assurance service just for eligible SMEs. Here's how it works. If you're an SME, you pick one specific project, choose up to 2 tricky areas to verify, and HMRC will give you total clarity on those points before you ever submit your main claim. It is an amazing way to test the waters without putting your entire application on the line.
And what exactly can you ask them to verify? Well, you can pick a maximum of 2 out of these 4 specific areas. You can ask, 1, does this work actually meet the strict tax definition of R&D? 2, does my overseas expenditure qualify for relief? 3, can I claim for work that I've contracted out? Or 4, does the exemption from the PAYE and national insurance cap apply to my situation? Snagging a definitive answer on a couple of these sticky points gives you some absolutely crucial financial predictability before you pull the trigger on filing.
Moving on, Section 4, Charity Data Opt-ins.
Sticking with operations, we have a massive, highly anticipated regulatory update for charity managers out there, stemming from the Data, Use, and Access Act 2025. The Information Commissioner's Office, the ICO, just released their final guidance on a concept called the Charitable Purposes Soft Opt-in. And honestly, this is a game changer. It legally relaxes the strict consent rules for charities. It essentially means that if someone has previously shown interest in your cause, or maybe offered support in the past, you can now send them direct electronic marketing without having to hunt down their explicit, check-the-box consent first.
Now, assuming you carefully follow the ICO's strict safeguards to protect people's privacy, this just unlocks an incredible amount of fundraising and engagement potential. We're talking about the green light to use emails, SMS text messages, and even direct messages on social media to re-engage with warm leads. It drastically reduces the friction of doing outreach, which means charities can connect so much more fluidly and naturally with potential supporters.
And finally, Section 5, Fuel, Transport, and Exports. Let's wrap things up with logistics and international trade. We're going to kick this off with a rapid-fire round of good news for anyone feeling the squeeze of high transport costs tied to the ongoing Middle East conflict. The government has jumped in with some highly targeted reliefs that mean immediate cash savings for your wallet. First up, that 5p fuel duty cut we've been clinging to since 2022. Great news, it's officially extended through to the end of the year. Second, hauliers are scoring a massive 12-month road tax holiday. Typical heavy lorry fees that usually hover around 600 to 900 pounds are being slashed to literally just one single pound at their next renewal. And to top it off, farmers and rail freight operators will see their duty on red diesel cut by more than a third until the end of the year. But, while domestic transport gets a breather, our international exporters have a brand new hurdle to clear. If you are a non-EU business, you're registered in the Import One-Stop Shop, or IOSS, and you ship goods into the European Union, you really need to brace for a critical compliance change hitting super soon, on July 1st, 2026.
Starting on that exact date, a temporary fixed customs duty of exactly €3 is going to be slapped onto small parcels exported to the EU that are valued at less than €150. Now, yes, it's a temporary measure for now, but make no mistake, it is explicitly paving the way for a permanent solution that will eventually scrap the customs duty relief threshold altogether. When that permanent rule kicks in, every single good under €150 is just going to be hit with standard EU product tariffs. So if your business model thrives on high-volume, low-value exports to the EU, you absolutely need to be adjusting your pricing and your iOS reporting strategies right this second.
Which brings us to a final thought I want to leave you with. We've just navigated everything from million-pound property surcharges and dangerous AI tax blenders to new charity data freedoms and EU export fees. In a landscape where tax laws, data privacy rules, and cybersecurity standards are quite literally shifting under our feet all at once, how proactively is your organization adapting to stay ahead of the curve? Are you just reacting, or are you ready? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Use these insights to power your next strategy session, and as always, keep learning.